The truth can hurt you, or the truth can change you. What will truth do to you?
Has been beautiful with the help of God. You are welcome to your reality radio talk show, Beautiful Mind. This is the show where we say no to stigmas, discriminations, and any judgmental attitude. Our aim is to spread hope to all men through love. This show is to educate, entertain, and to benefit our souls. It is the show that aims to align our thoughts to the way God proposes it to be. Beautiful Mind says, we all must see the way God sees. So you're welcome on board. Why don't you grab yourself a cup of tea or chocolate, water, coffee, soup, whatsoever that makes you feel comfortable. Please sit down and come along with us. And if you're coming back from work, driving, and listen via our radio station, Peace and Joy, please drive with care as you enjoy this show. Remember that you can connect and contribute on this show on our page, Beautiful Mind Online. You can also give us a call here in the studios on 075 132 80062. I repeat that, 075 132 80062. And you can also tweet us at beauty_mind or on our Instagram, Beautiful Mind Online. And you can also send your message on our Facebook page, Beautiful Mind Online. I am so excited about today's topic. I know a lot of people are as well. And thank you very much for all your contributions, your questions that you've sent in. They mean so much to us that when we send things out and people are sending things back to us to answer. So I do really appreciate that. Yes, today's topic is the what of a woman's pride. And I have with me in the studio for the very first time, Alice. She will be helping us on today's topic. I tell you something, I know you're going to say I say this every week, but today's topic is something you do not want to miss because it is going to be informative and educative all through. I like my guests to feel relaxed and to give you the opportunity to help us call your friends, your family, and especially your young adults, your teenagers. I wanted to give them a shout to tell them it's time for Beautiful Mind. So we are going to go on a very short break and we will be right back. I'll see you very soon. Please don't forget to share this video. See you soon. I love to make people and to smile on people's faces. I love to add values to people's life, and in doing that, I might win some to Christ.
Olayiwola Ayo Adewumi is my name. I'm a minister of the gospel, and in short, I just want to say I have Christ-like concern for all people. We are all into all things that will benefit the kingdom and that will draw people unto Christ.
Beautiful Mind is a talk show. It's going to benefit our body, mind, soul, and spirit. The mind is a battleground, and in it, a lot of things are contending issues there. And sometimes for us to make it in life, it can be determined by the way our mind works. Our mind is also a part of our body that enables us to think, to reason, to feel, and to remember. And that is why the Bible says we should guard our hearts diligently, because out of it, there's issues of life. It's a unique program, a unique talk show that you've not seen anything like. And I want you viewers to help us in it.
You're going to be meeting people with real life experiences. You're going to be meeting people, prostitutes. You're going to be meeting drug addicts. You're going to be meeting alcoholics. You're going to be meeting people that have various diseases, maybe cancer, single parents, single woman. You're talking of single dads as well, and a lot of things that we see in the society. We're going to be meeting real people so that we can share from their experience, get to know what they're going through and how we can help them so that they too can have beautiful mind and we can have beautiful minds towards them as well.
we don't have any sponsor at the moment.
Oh, praise the Lord. Faith is our currency. We are appealing to all children of God out there, people with businesses, people that love what we do, to come out and support us. Because when you support, you are helping to propagate this gospel. You may not be able to go out, but your money can go. You may not be able to reach out, but I tell you, when you sponsor us, you will be reaching to the four corners of the world. And
I tell you, when you support this vision, you will never regret it, because we want to make Jesus known all over the world. It is our passion. Please join us in this vision, and you will never regret it. Wherever you cannot get to, your money can get there. God bless. You're welcome back. This is Adeyinka Adewome, and we are broadcasting live from the studios of Peace and Joy. And thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. I hope you are able to pick one or two things from that short break. Yes, I will want my guest to introduce herself now for the benefit of those people that do not know her. Right.
Hi, everyone. My name is Alice Funke Solomon. I am, first of all, a child of God. I am also a qualified health and safety practitioner. I am also a parent and teen relationship expert. I am a mentor. I am, advocate for good behavior and character. And yes, someone that is just passionate to empower parents and their young people to be the best they can be, and also to live their life, in honor and glory of God. Yes, that's basically who I am.
Wow, that's a lot of cap you've got, hun. How do you juggle all this with family as well?
Only by His grace. Only by His grace, because if God has given you the call or the passion to do anything at all, it gives you, the ability and the strength to pull through. So I give all glory to God.
Wow, thank you very much. I want to say thank you for honoring our invitation. I do really appreciate it. I'm not taking it for granted at all. Right, yes, the topic for today is what of a woman's pride. In today's society, many consider God's idea of purity to be outdated. Many of our youth are under so much pressure to eat the forbidden fruit. Yes, it is forbidden fruit if you are not married to have sexual intercourse or sexual partner with whoever you want to have it with. What God demands from us is that we keep our bodies holy, because they are God's own temple, and we can find that in 1 Corinthians 6:19. So why does, this is my question, Alice, why does God place such restrictions on us? Is it simply old-fashioned? Is God an old-fashioned old guy out there that doesn't really understand what is happening here in our time and in our period here? So, or are we out there to destroy ourselves, or is God stopping us from having fun? So on today's show, we want to look at all this. What are the challenges? And we want to be able to reflect as well, because I know you produced a program called Reflecting. So I thought it would be a nice time for us to reflect upon this thing. Why has God placed this so much burden on us? He doesn't want us to have fun, or is he an old-fashioned old man there? So we want to look at all this. So my first question to you today will be, what exactly are we talking about when we advise a young girl or young guy, woman, or young woman to be sexually pure?
Oh, well, I believe that sexual purity is a decision that has to be made by young boy or girl, and particularly in a way that they will use their body, to honor God, not only in what they say, but also in what they do, particularly when it comes to a young person growing up and now beginning to understand his emotion, his body, reactions, and all the hormones are popping up. So this is a decision that has to be made by a young person, to decide for themselves that, okay, now I am growing up, my body is beginning to react to the natural biological forces, and so I am going to decide for myself to live my body, use it in a way that will honor God. However, it's a decision that have to be made, by understanding. You can't just make that decision without actually understanding the purpose behind it.
Wow.
And that actually leads me to the scripture, because there's no way I can answer this question
without
actually diving into the scripture, because it's the law of God and His words are perfect. And that is why I'm going to read 1 Thessalonians 4:1-5, and I'm going to read it quickly. It says, "Finally, brethren, brothers and sisters, we urge you in the name of the Lord Jesus to live in a way that pleases God, as we have taught you. You live this way already, and we encourage you to do so even more.
Wow.
For you remember that for you remember what we taught you by the authority of the Lord." Verse 3, "God's will is for you to be holy and stay away from all sexual sin.
Wow.
Then each of you will control his own body, okay, and live in holiness and honor, not in lustful passion like pagans who do not know God and His ways."
Wow.
So in my own view, what that scripture is basically saying is that if you are children of God, there are standards, there are expectations that God has laid on us. So we cannot use our body disrespectfully. So Timothy, I believe, was encouraging the young people that are already living, sanctified, and they've already dedicated their own body to God. And so he's saying to them that, and encouraging them not to carry themselves or use themselves like the pagan will do.
Okay, thank you very much. If I leave Funke alone, I know she will go on and on. You can tell that she's a Bible scholar. Please don't forget that we have some of our audience, some of our viewers that they're not Christians.
Yeah.
So please, let makes it so simple.
Yes.
From what you've said, what I could gather is sexual purity to an unmarried person simply means no to sex.
Yes. Okay, if you want to look at the general definition now, I mean, talking about people that are not actually Christian, you will find that even in our world today, before you can drive a car, there is a limit on it. Before you can go on Facebook, as popular as it may be on social media, there is a age limit on it. So the same way, we have to understand that our body is for a purpose, and God has put into us, this sexual urge for a purpose, and He has reserved it only for marriage.
Thank you very much for that. That's so, I love the analogy that you gave, that before you can drive, you have to be 16.
Yes, right.
So
even.
Exactly, before you have anything like sex, then you need to be equipped. You need to make informed decisions, and it has to be when you're married. Thank you very much for that. So why has sex become a big issue in today's society? Before you answer that question, I want you to think about it very well, because we're saying no to sex, but when you watch our TV adverts, you watch, billboards on the road, anything is just about sex. The musical videos is just all about sex. So why is it such a big deal in our society today?
Oh, well, I just believe that we are in the day that is ruled by the pagans, just like Timothy said. It's actually a big deal because, we live in a glorified world, where sex sell. Okay, if you look at the adverts, it's all about the sex. Nothing will be appealing to the eyes because it's not fashionable, it's not sexy, and so people are not appealed to actually watch the advert. So men now intend to put money on a woman's dignity.
Oh my God.
So woman's image, woman's body has actually been monetized.
Wow.
And that basically now tells us the world that we live in today, because these days sex is now on the delivery 24/7. Our lives are, the world is full of junks. Before you even open anything on the social media, the pop up comes up, and it's all about the advert of sex. Pornography is another one. Prostitution. It's just a lot about monetizing something that is appealing, that is attractive. And the only way that we can entice people to our culture, the culture of the world, is to actually portray the woman as being sexy.
Wow.
So that basically is what is going on. And if you look at the media, who are the people in charge of the media? It's the pagan, it's the people of the world, and they will only do things that will glorify their own world, their own God. And so if we Christians are not even careful, we will be sold out. And that basically is what I think, what makes sex to be a great, issue in the world today.
I just believe that before you do anything, you should think about the consequences. You should think deeply the spiritual aspect and the physical aspect. I know the world we live today, they are, downplaying the world of sex, but we should, before we do anything, think about it again. Think critically and make informed decision. So as a parent, Alice, what is the right age to open up a discussion on sex with children?
That's actually funny, because I really can't remember my parents.
Don't go there yet.
About sex.
We will get there. We will get to your parents. We're just making this to be as open as possible, because we are still waiting on our viewers to help us share this video so that other people can join and hear Funke Solomon's, testimony.
Right. Okay, so now going back to that question, I honestly wonder why parents find it awkward, to talk about something that they do, The church don't even want to talk about it. And whereas the school is teaching these young people, the school is telling them about, the functionality of their body, how their body can work and all of these. But then they are not teaching them about the responsibilities attached, to the use of these, body parts. And it is the responsibility of the parent now to sit down and, instruct the child on how to use their body in the appropriate manner, okay? And also, it is also important for parents, to talk about what they do. Even your children know that you do it. It's something that, as soon as you see them beginning to understand, their body parts, they begin to see that, they're developing, and you can start telling it to them in bits and pieces. You understand? You can start instilling it into them, because they already know you are doing it, but let them know why you are doing it and the purpose of which it is being done, and what is the age that they're expected, to do it. Because like I said, it's important for us to have an open, conversation with our children, because they will hear it outside. They will, if you don't tell them, if you are too shy or afraid to tell them, they will hear it one way or another. You might think they are very naive, they don't know much. I tell you, they know much more than you think they know. But if you tell them by yourself, they are more secure. They can trust that this is coming from, someone that actually loves them and have their, affectionate heart, So I just think that parents not telling their children about, sex activity, it's just, making them to experiment it by themselves, basically.
Okay, thank you. I'm not going to place an age or a age on it, but I believe that as soon as they start asking questions, then they've opened something for conversation with you. Then you tell them, but try to measure it as well with their maturity, because sometimes some children, they have age on them, but they're not actually mature.
Matured, yes.
So you tell them, you explain to them to the level that they can understand. So don't go above them and don't undermine them. So try to balance it. You know, God will help you to know what you're supposed to tell them.
Just
But
to buttress that, if you may, well, I'll just quickly chip things. I remember my parents would never tell me physically about sex, but they would use a scripture. You know, when you're having the morning devotion, you know, they would use something like, oh, for this reason, a man will leave his house, you know, his father and mother, and cleave unto his wife, and the two of them will become united and become one. And so my dad will ask, and my mom will ask, so what is that for this reason? You know, when the Bible says for this reason, what is that for this reason? And it's to trigger our thoughts. You know, what is for this reason? And develop, you know, the discussion would develop from there. And even though you're not telling them in the face, do not do this, but you are instilling it in them, you know, bit by bit.
Thank you. So what is wrong? We've been talking about sex. What is wrong with sex before marriage? After all, Alice, let's be honest.
Yes,
and
let's be honest.
Everybody's doing it.
I don't think everybody's doing it.
Okay, if you're saying not everybody, but majority are doing it. So what is wrong in having sex before marriage?
That's a very big question for me to answer. And I say that very carefully because we cannot just assume that everybody's doing it. You know, and even our young people want to keep themselves. I've worked with a lot of young people, and they really have that desire to keep themselves for marriage.
Wow.
But the pressure is so much out there, and people just assume that everybody does it. And so that actually is another pressure on them because, you know, even their parents are expecting them or assuming that they're already doing it. You know, so for that reason, it's hard for us to just conclude that everybody is doing it. And to answer your question, I believe that nobody will kill you, you know, for it if you have sex before marriage. You know, even God is a merciful God. Even if you do it or you have done it or you are doing it, he covers us with grace. He forgives us, and he welcomes us, you know, back home, and he makes sure that, you know, he washes us with his blood. And so even God will not, you know, say that you are wrong or you are right for doing it. But I believe that there are many factors to it being wrong. Okay, so if we want to go biblically, for the benefit of the people that are being spiritual and those that are not, I will come to them later on. Engaging in sexual behavior is violating God's law. Okay, sexual activity outside of marriage is a disobedience to God.
Wow.
Okay, so if you are a Christian and you are picking and choosing which aspect of the Bible you want to obey God with, I'm afraid you don't have a God.
Wow. You've just judged somebody there. You've just condemned somebody.
I'm not condemning, because I said I'm going to come to that. And I said God covers us with grace.
Okay.
God covers us with his mercy. Okay, but we have to be honest about the rules and the law of the Lord. That is what the Bible is saying. You know, flee all fornication. You understand? So it is plain and clear. If you want to pick the blessing of the Lord only in the Bible and not want to abide by its rules, I'm afraid you are cheating yourself, because that is not the standard of God. It's hard, I must say, you know, but it's a decision that has to be made, that I just want to please God in what I do, in what I say, even in the use of my body.
Wow.
So it's an intentional decision that even our young people want to make, but because there's no role model, there's no one portraying them or propping them the right way, the circles of friends that they have are actually engaging into it. And in fact, they're bullying them. You know, even when I remember when I was growing up, because I was a bit secluded, they were like, what do you have to say? Because I was even trying to jump and feel like them, like, you know, I know what they're talking about, just to like chip in, you okay, I beg you. You understand? So they bully you, they make you feel like you are weirdo. They make you feel like you are not funky. Nobody likes you. Nobody love you. And so it's perceived as though that it is normal for everybody to do it. And so I think it's also in the child's best interest. You understand? You know, you might not believe it, or it might not make sense, but I can assure you it's in the child's, you know, best interest to wait because they're not ready. They're not psychologically, you know, prepared. They are not emotionally, you know, ready, even academically. They cannot even deal, you know, having, because of the distraction, you know, involved in sex. It takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of passion, you know. So it's in their interest to wait and put all that passion, put all that energy into their education, into the things that would further their lives, into the things that will help them grow. Because as soon as you begin to engage in sexual intercourse, it distracts you. It's a distraction. And I tell you, for example, of my friends, you know, they even regret, you know, many of them at the time they were enjoying it, but later on they were like, I wish I waited. Even statistics shows it these days that a lot of people after when they reach age 20, 25, they look back on their past years and they just wish that they waited, you know. And there's a book that I read as well that also, you know, indicates that psychologists identify that the brain, you know, keeps record of sexual activities. You understand? And you can imagine, you know, meeting Jackie, Siki, and all of them, and you actually keeping all that memory. You understand? So all of that is dangerous because it takes a lot of energy to actually suppress, you know, all these images, all these memories.
Wow.
Yes. So you putting all that emotion, I want to forget about this, another one, it's hard to erase, you know, those memories. So for me, I just think, considering all those facts, you know, it's just better to reserve it for marriage, you know.
Thank you very much, Alice. I really appreciate, you know, the points that you're giving, and they're so deep, and you can tell that she's somebody that knows what she's talking about. So please help us share this video, because you've not heard everything. She's loaded, this woman, and she's going to, you know, she's giving her everything on this show today. So please help us share this video to invite other people. So I just want to say, the fact that everybody is doing it doesn't mean it's right. You may think you are losing out, but trust me, you're not. You're adding values to yourself, and you're adding dignity to yourself. So you are saving yourself unnecessarily headache, just like she said. So is it okay to have sex with my boyfriend? Somebody's asking, my friend, my girlfriend, or my friend. You know, this now is not just ordinary friend, but somebody that you're intimated, you're into a relationship with. Is it okay?
Well, I would like to know how old this person is. And if I may also say that the purpose of dating is for you to find someone that you want to marry. So my question to this person is, are you ready for marriage? If you are a 15, 16-year-old, do you want to be a 16-year-old daddy? Or do you want to be a 15-year-old mommy or wife? Or are we looking for someone that, you know, is God's, you know... So these are the questions I would like to pose to this person. Why do you want to, you know, have sex with your boyfriend? And even if you have friends, because relationships are really powerful, relationships are really important.
But
and I must say,
this person, you went further to say fiance.
Okay, if it's your fiance, I actually think that now you are coming to the age that you are looking at being settled with this person, and you are hoping that one day he's going to be the one. But what happens if you have sex with him and eventually it turns out not to be the one? So, and I think, like I said earlier, that sexual intercourse actually keeps a memory, because there's more to sex than, you know, just intercourse. You know, you are giving a part of yourself away to this person, and a part of yourself that once you've given it, you cannot take
it back.
You understand? So if you want to give it to this person and eventually the guy also moves on and say, I don't fancy you anymore, you know, you can even ask yourself, am I still going to be attracted to him in a couple of months? Will he still be in love with me as he is at the moment, you know, in few more years? So why don't you just wait? Why don't you let him know, this is my decision. I'm not going to, you know, taste the forbidden fruit that's been said until I'm married. You you know, if you like it, you put the ring on it, you know, so.
Put the ring on it. Thank you very much, Alison, for that. Tina wrote this to us. She said, I didn't want to, but I had to do it to keep him. I doubt if any man will love you genuinely if you refuse him sex.
I'm afraid sex cannot keep any man. Even in marriage, if you think you're just going to be giving this man sex, if the man is not really attached to you or love you genuinely, he's going to look elsewhere because, like I said, sex is being monetized, you know. People are, you know, being paid, prostitutes are being paid to have sex. You know, men can have sex and, you know, move on to the next person. So if you think that, you know, he will turn you away or dislike you or feel like you're disrespecting him for not giving him sex, actually you are cheating your own self because a man that cannot wait, you know, and respect you for your values, for your beliefs and your decision, I'm afraid is not the right person for you. And I can say that categorically because I've got people in my circle that actually did exactly what you are intending to do, and unfortunately it didn't work out.
Thank you. But this is my question, Alice. Does sex actually boost relationship?
In a marital context, yes. God has put the man and woman together for that purpose. It's a purpose of intimacy. And when I say intimacy, I say it with the capital bold. And, you know, when I lost my mom, for example, actually, one of the things that got me back on my foot, because I was totally depressed, this woman that was always praying for me. I saw her as, you know, my guardian angel. She helps me a lot. She sees the future in prayers before I even get there. And so when she passed away, I was totally devastated. And so I got into this, you know, section of my life that I just thought, you know what, it's not worth it. But when my husband begins to show me affection, he begins to help me, and I just realized that just helped me get back up. So sexual relationship in a marital, you know, union is a good thing, and that's why God has put it there. It's healing, you know, it can help you a lot. But if you do it outside of marriage, it can cost you woes. It can mess your life up. You can get STD, you can get pregnant prematurely, you can actually end up aborting that pregnancy, which means that you are killing, you know, somebody. Nobody's judging anybody, but these are the truth, these are the reality. And so if you don't want to engage or involve yourself and get to that stage of your relationship, it's better you just wait.
Thank you very much. So does sex, you know, does having sex before marriage, you know, I've asked that, what is love? Because you're saying sex does boost relationship. What is love, and is sex equal to love?
Right, okay. That's a very big one, and I must say that because sex and love are two different things. In fact, before you can talk about sex, you have to first of all talk about love. We often say that do not have sex before marriage, but we don't say that love before sex. You understand?
You know,
can you think about it?
And that's what I'm asking you.
Can you think about that? You know, that.
Because some guys, please, if you're watching us, you can give us a call here in the studios on 079-603-91983. Some guys can actually have sex with a lady they do not love.
They can just have a quickie or just meet somebody. Well, that's the word of the language for it. You know, you can just meet somebody and just, you know, do it and you move on to the next person. Is that love? How does love come to be? I love you, but do I have sex with you? You know, so love is an entirely different thing. It's something that is spiritual. It's something that is devotional. It's something that is pure, that is genuine. It's got nothing attached. It's got no string attached. You can love somebody without having sex with them. Okay, but in a marital relationship, in fact, it's good to have sex in a marital relationship. So it's something that we have to define. You know, if you say don't have sex before marriage, what about don't love before you eventually have sex with the person? It goes both ways. Because if you want to look at it, I would think about it. Do I want this man to be the grandfather to my grandchildren? These are the standards I set for myself.
Wow.
Do I want this person to be the because it enables you to think about the future. You know, you are not thinking about your own
Just
self now.
You're not being selfish.
You understand? But you're thinking about the future generation.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're happy for this man to hold my hand in the hand and look, you know, with my grandchildren. Is that what I want for my life? So I would put all that into perspective, and then if it ticks all the, you know, boxes, yes.
Wow. So is it an old school, you know, idea to believe that a man will value and respect you more if you haven't had sex before marriage? Because some people believe love and respect, you know, or value somebody doesn't really matter.
Even in a marriage environment, yes, respect is key. Okay, if you love somebody, it shows that you have all the qualities and virtues and the gifts that come with love, which is respect, companion, empathy, you know, affection, and also what they call give and take. You understand? So when you are in a loving relationship, all these are packaged. Okay. And sex actually helps you to deliver all those qualities, you know, in a very special way. Because, like, if you have a sexual encounter with somebody and you can recall, you know, that encounter, and it gives you joy. You know, you just smile about it. You just, you know, so you respect the person. You want to honor them. You want to relate with them. Even the thoughts of the person, you know, is enough to boost, you know, your feelings. So I think respect, love, compassion, you know, joy, happiness, it's encompassed, you know, in the fruit of love, really.
Thank you very much. So why is keeping one's virginity important? Because girls, you know, you did mention it from the beginning now. Girls dare not to say they are virgins because of being bullied. And again, men are not expecting their wives to be virgin, even on their wedding day. They think, I'll get bullied. Why do I still need to keep it? Even as a man, they find it difficult to enter on the wedding night, and they'll say, I would rather want to go for a girl that is, you know. So what?
Okay, the question is, why is keeping your virginity very important?
Very important.
It's a personal
decision
question that have to be answered by individuals.
Okay,
you understand? It defines your values. It defines your self-respect. It defines your personal understanding about what you are going to encounter or what you are deciding to go into. I mean, there's a saying that if something does not cost you something, you don't appreciate it, you don't value it. So if you feel like having sex, you know, what value does it have to you? Nothing. Well, some people even say, what's the big deal? You can just go ahead and do it. I mean, you can have as many, you know, sexual partners as you want. It's your life after all. But what is your self-worth? What is your values? You know, what are your own personal boundaries? Because you have to set the standard for your life, whether it's academically, spiritually. You have to choose, you know, what you want for your life. So that's why I said it's a personal decision. I can't say it is important that you must do it, but if you look at the pros and cons, if you weigh them together, I mean, it's more valuable, and it benefits you to wait, you know, because if you what's the word I was trying to look for now? If somebody gives you something and you don't know the value, you don't know what it means. So if you give him a casual sex, you know,
casual sex,
it doesn't value you. It's like, well, I've got it now, and that is it.
Okay.
So in the end, what is important to you? What are your values? How do you see yourself? You know, do you really, you know, evaluate yourself? What is your self-worth? What is your respect for yourself? And so I think that God has reserved, you know, sexual intercourse for, you know, for a purpose, really, which is for marriage.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Jane, we got your message, and thank you very much for sending this in. Jane said, my friends bully me simply because I am still a virgin. They are being pressuring me They have been pressuring me to have sex, but I have refused. Unfortunately, my parents don't know or understand what I am going through. They suspect every of my male friends and scrutinize me and my female ones based on their own judgment. Auntie, kindly help advise our parents on this issue.
Like I said earlier, I think the responsibility of a parent is to nurture their children, is to guide them.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of things going on out there, you know, in the school, in their social circles. You know, there's a lot of things that these children are, you know, encountering on a daily basis.
Yes.
You know, like I said, you know, the world is full of junks. And if you are not there, present and active, you know, to show them and point them in the right direction, I mean, they are just prone to fall into the vices and the distraction and temptation. You know, they might, like I said, all the children actually wanted to live holy. Like this young person that wrote in, you can see that this person actually wanted to wait, but he's being bullied because most of his friends are probably, you know, doing it. And that's why we always have seminars for young people that actually desire to have, you know, their purity intact, you know, because we see that parents are very shy talking about this, you know, the school as well. I mean, the church, especially, they just don't want to touch the topic, you know, for some reasons, I don't know why. So we kind of have seminars, you know, to help these young people that have that desire to wait, because obviously they get bullied, you know, they get, you know, frustrated, and they just feel like, okay, now I'm just gonna do it. What's the problem? What's the point? You know, and that is breaking their own personal, you know, desire, the decision that they've made to do so, you know, just because their parents are irresponsible, you know, in their role in pointing their children in the right direction and supporting them. Don't just assume that they're doing it, maybe because they're going out of having friends with people that actually do it. You cannot conclude that that child is actually engaging in such activity, you know, because they just want to fit in, you know, because if you don't behave like you fit in, they will just deregulate you. They'll just feel like, no, this one is not in our clique, so push her to the side. You know, so it's important really for parents to help their young people through.
Thank you very much. I just want to say thank you, Tom Ade and Harmony Drama, for joining us this afternoon. Thank you, Ola Yuniv, and thank you, Abe Aki Ola Ogundipe. Thank you very much. I do really appreciate it. If I can't see you and you're watching us, thank you very much. Please help us share this video because I believe it's going to bless somebody out there. Did your parents discuss sex with you?
The loving memory of my mom. Well, I remember very clearly that it's never a discussion in my house. I don't know why. I don't know whether it's a cultural thing or maybe they just expect that I wouldn't do it. Or maybe they trust that they've raised me so well and I wouldn't disappoint them. And the trust is there. So there's no point having a, you know, blanket discussion about it. But I remember very well that they do talk about, you know, we do morning devotions because I was raised in the very stern, you know, spiritual Christian home. And they watch what you wear, they watch what you do, no herrings, no do. So all of that, you know, put together. So we usually have morning devotion and also night devotion. You can imagine having those. So in every of these devotions, we would read the Bible and they would talk about Samuel, how Samuel had relationship with God in his early age and how he preserved himself and how God made him a king and a priest. You know, they will use all that analogy to help you understand that if you have relationship with God early, you will be pure, you will be holy, and God will use you. And that actually got me really interested in God using me, you see. And also they will use the story of Joseph, how he fled, you know, the Potiphar's wife, and how he made himself, you know, subject himself to poverty, to reproach, you know, to all of those things because he could have been rich, he could have actually advanced in life in the house of Potiphar. So they will use all that example. And eventually what happened to Joseph, because he waited, he fled, where did he end up? So my dad and mom will use all those scriptural backing, you know, to just make you realize their expectation and the family values. And I remember very well as well, my mom would just chip it in, son of Lagbaja and the other girl, something happened to them, they will just use all those examples and they will just say that, is that right? Me too will say, that's not right though. And they will now say that, the forbidden fruit that Adam and Eve ate in those days. And that is why the Lord caused Eve, and the Lord said to Eve that because you have done this, unto your husband with your love, your desire be, and he will rule over you. And when they're using all those scriptures, I'm like, oh my gosh. So it's not really a discussion, to be quite honest with you. It's not something they would say, do not
so
do.
you didn't have a formal discussion. So why do...
But it was indirect.
I was going somewhere with that question, Alice. So why do African parents, find it difficult to discuss sexual matters with their children? Why?
I really honestly do not know why. And it baffles me. It's quite shocking, especially African, even the ones that are here, that are educated and exposed, they still find it really awkward. They find it a topic that shouldn't be addressed. And I really can't understand, because these young people need information, and information is out there. If you don't give them the right information, they will seek it elsewhere. And so I think it's a cultural thing, because their parents have not told them, and obviously we learn by role modeling, and whatever your mentor shows you, you will pass it on, and that's what we call passing on the baton, and so it becomes a ripple effect. And because I have not been informed, my mother never sat me down, I have the tendency as well not to sit down, and educate my child on that.
Thank you very much. And Ruti Olaya, thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. She said, in the African context, it is seen as a taboo. Is it? But what is losing out? Is it going to be the child or the parents? Alice?
First of all, I want to just say about the taboo. Even the way we are talking about sex now,
it is a taboo.
Some people already feel like, don't mention it too much. Tune it down. And it's a reality of the world that we live in. Some people will hide. Your children are having contraceptions.
They give them in school.
They are having sex, behind your back, and you're saying it's a taboo. Excuse me. This is out there. They are engaging. They are seeing it, and they are offering it to them on the platter of God. So what is a taboo in that? And why can't we make them, understand the process for it? And so going to what you're saying, who loses out? Who loses out?
Is it the parents or the child?
It's everybody.
Everybody.
Even our generation unborn can lose out on it. Reason being that if we've got time, I can analyze it to you. Say, if you pass on, okay, for example, now, my grandparents, by God's grace, were like the ones that brought, the Christianity into their village. And so they knew God earlier on in their lives. So my grandparents, abstained from sexual impurity until they got married. And my parents actually categorically told us about it later on in our lives, how they kept themselves. Their relationship in those days, like they make one to another. Nobody talks to the other person until the day of their wedding. Yes, that's the way my parents actually got engaged and married. So what I'm trying to say is that where we tell them, okay, we are passing on a legacy to them.
Yes.
We are showing them the values and our beliefs. And so they would also uphold that and pass it on to their children.
Child. Thank you very much. Ruti Olaya is saying the child, of course, that means the child will lose out.
And the generation after the child.
Thank you. And Elizabeth Abiodun, thank you very much for joining us. She said, it is a blessing to know God early. It keeps you focused and pure. Absolutely. I think that is the key.
It is important.
It is the key, because when you know God for yourself, not for your parents, not because you've been asked to do so, but you have an account to yourself, then it will take you in a longer way. Thank you, Mommy Kudirat Taiwo, for joining us this afternoon. Right, you said your parents didn't discuss this with you. So how did you know about it?
Well, I got to know about it. First of all, like I said, knowing God early, being raised by my, very stern, very strict parent. I already know about it in tips and in bits, and I know the expectations for me. but I never got told not to do it. It's not a conversation. So I was opportuned, and I thank God for the people that God used to share the wisdom, with me, and also the circle of people that God planted me, in at the time. And I'm everly, so grateful to them. And that's why I'm very passionate as well, in passing on this information to young people to, abstain. And so I went to this seminar, which is also what actually brought about Reflecting, organization where we help young people and their parents to be the best that the God has made them to be. And so I went to this seminar that is not totally religious and that is not, worldly either. And on this seminar, we were asked to, seek God, seek the Holy Spirit, seek God's direction for our lives. And I was really I think I was 13 years old then. I was beginning to understand myself at the time, which I was really lucky and thankful for, because if it had come later on in my life, I could have actually engaged in it. Of course, God will forgive me. And then from that moment onwards, that I decide not to do it anymore, God will cover me with grace. And it will wipe up, all the experiences.
So true.
But then, I got that encounter, and from that seminar, I decided in myself, nobody forcing me, nobody telling me, you have to, no. I decided for my own self that, Lord, I am going to do what you expect of me.
Wow.
I am going to preserve myself as long as you help me, because the temptation was really right in the face. And so I said, as long as you help me, I made that decision for myself. So the encounter that I had from that gathering and the people that were not selfish, that showed me the right way, the
those were the things that informed your decision.
Those are the things that informed my decision.
Thank you very much for that. But I believe, we love to be practical.
Yes.
Because we live in the real world.
Absolutely.
And on Beautiful Mind, we share practicalities. Alice, being a pastor's daughter must have made it easier for you.
My dad was not a pastor,
but was so strong in the church. You said you pray in the morning, you pray at night. God. A lot of people don't do that.
He's more than a pastor, I must tell you.
And you were not, you were not allowed to dress, in a provocative way. I believe that might have helped you. Or do you not think so?
I believe it did. But then there are some people that are not totally Christian or religious that have strong cultural values. They still uphold our traditional way of life. And so even though they're not really churchy person, because it's not about, you can go into church 24/7 and not have Christ in you. It's not about going to church, it's not about, but it's about relationship. So if you have understanding, you'll be eager to pass it on. You can see I'm very passionate about it.
I know you're passionate about it, I know, but please, I really want our viewers and our listeners to get everything from this show today. So try to make your contribution so short so that they can get the main.
Which area do you want me to point on?
No, it's okay. You've said everything right. I just want to ask you something now. Did you continue? Because I know girls, when we are home, we abide by the rules. We go by whatever we are told to do. But as soon as we step into the university on the campus, we wear another identity.
Sure.
Were you able to still continue to carry that values, that beliefs, even when you're in uni?
Now I'm ready to share.
Please, and this is the time, this is the moment we've all been waiting for. And please help us share this video, because I know and I believe, I'm so convinced that it's gonna bless a young girl out there today, even parents, on how to parent even when it comes to sex. So please help us share this video, because she's not holding back. She promised me that, so she's gonna share now. Go on.
Right. So, like I said, I've been very restricted. No this, no that. No, even your friend, they kind of select and choose. Don't walk, don't go out with that one.
Yeah.
Which I appreciate and thank them for, to be quite honest, because they know better than I do. But I made a decision, even though at 13 I already decided and told God that I would keep myself, from all sexual impurities and all of that. And so I got to that age where I felt like this is freedom. I can, I told myself, as soon as I leave this home, I'm just gonna go and have loads of fun. I'm just gonna have, the life that's I think I was missing out on. And I just thought, you know what, I'm just going to enjoy myself. So I went to school, to the institution with that motive in mind. I was ready to wear all my leggings as leggings can be and what have you. Which there's no sin, there's nothing wrong with her. But I already had that intention that whatever it takes. But I still have the belief that I'm not going to have sexual intercourse. But I was thinking, I can have a boyfriend. I mean, I'm going to get married one day. We can kiss, we can hold hands, we can, do all of it. But so far, it didn't go,
beyond that.
But however, I didn't realize that even touching, and kissing are actually also parts of sexual impurity. I didn't have any understanding, of that. So I went to school with that motive in mind, and God helped me. I got into this group of friends where they were the high class, they're the in thing, and they were really the rocking babes. And I just fell for it. I just started having them as friends. I started, some of them are having boyfriends when they're coming from lectures. We will stop by A's place and we'll have a chat with A. We'll sit on A's bed. We would have a discussion. Even some of them are playing school wife. They will cook for the boy.
Oh my God.
They will buy gifts for the boy. They would, just because they want to keep in. And they are hopeful that maybe one day they will get married. But I tell you what, none of them got married to this person.
Wow.
And they were having sexual encounter with them. So I put myself in a very vulnerable
position.
But
pause there. Ruthie here, she wrote something that I thought I need to read it out. She said, I remember during my high school days in Nigeria, I attended a mixed school. When I am doing my monthly period, my mom, bless her soul, only said to me, don't let any guy touch you. My young mind then wasn't thinking about sex. Then in school, any guy that comes towards me, I took my heels. Thank you very much for sharing that. A lot of us were in that category. Trust me.
Because they thought that if you just
once you touch, you get pregnant. That's just it. So, again, we've got this sentence. I didn't find it easy when I moved to the hostel. Guys were all over me like ox. The pressure is real out there. Could you please give out some tips on how to stay focused on purity tips to young ladies living on their own?
I think that links to the question to my previous story. So I got to this clique where they're all doing it and I'm the only one with the decision, even though the decision is already getting broken because I'm already looking for a boyfriend, somebody to, so I have that freedom to live alone by myself. Even though my daddy will always pop by because it's not living too far away from the school, so he will always pop by, but I have the freedom to do whatever I want to do. And so the boys were coming. It was like you are the hot cake of campus.
Isn't she beautiful?
Oh gosh, thank you. So all the vices were there, and that was really also open because I want to get married anyway, and my friends were doing it. But then I thank God because once you make the decision to keep yourself, God holds on to that. And God will do everything to save us. God will do everything to keep us. And so one day we were coming from church, hanging out after lecture, and I was coming, and somebody spotted me, and she was like, Funke, are you not the son of this and that? I said, yeah. I didn't even know this person. He was like, I know you. I know your dad. I said, really? It was like, you followed me to this place again. She was like, we've got this fellowship that we would, we always do, and we are struggling to get people. Would you please come and join us? And I'm like, no way, I'm not coming to no fellowship. I want to have fun. I want to enjoy myself. And so she persuaded me, and she was like, you know what, you have friends, you can help us, you can. And I'm like, no, I'm not going. So I got into campus and I told my friends about it. We're like, I'm not going. You can go by yourself. And before you know it, I started thinking about it. Like, how did this person know me? Who is this person? So I got curious. I didn't know God was orchestrating all of that, just to save me from my own perdition. And so I went on this day. If I told some of my friends, me, I like to gather people. And so I went 4 of my friends on the day. And when we go to the fellowship, and we're like, wow, they've never had this amount of people come into the fellowship, that we're always looking for people, and the people that we didn't know, I only went before, and before you know it, people were joining, and we're like, wow, please, would you come again? It's like you are bringing people. I said, I only brought 4 people. So I didn't know God was using all of that to save me, from breaking my own, heart. Because how many hearts do you want to get broken before you get to eventually the right one? So God saved me using that. And so even though the freedom
tip number 1, we need to be fast now. Tip number 1, try to look for a fellowship wherever you find yourself.
If you are by yourself, find people of similar values. Find people that share your beliefs, people that can hold your hand. We are human. You will feel weak sometimes. You feel like, what is even worth it? But if you have friends that are hand holders, they will be able to encourage you, and they will share their own feelings with you, and then you will feel like, I'm not even the only one feeling this way. The second thing is boundaries setting. Set your own boundaries. Like I said, is this a person I want to live with for the rest of my life? Is this what I actually want for myself? Self-respect is another one. Respect yourself. See yourself as a value of what? Something that is, money cannot buy, because that is actually what is the most important. The way you see yourself is the way other people will see and approach you. So that's another thing. If you're by yourself, begin to reevaluate, who am I? What am I made up of?
Thank you. Thank you. Now let us fast forward the event. You met a guy.
I met a guy.
You nearly did something. Could you please, explain what happened on that day, just that day that you were so close?
Okay, so like you all know that our body is contains an organ that covers us. It takes the most amount of all our bodies, and so if you are not able to carefully navigate it or use it very well, you can actually end up in a stage of relationship without you knowing. So I met this guy that I felt very sympathetic for, very sorry for, someone whose heart has been broken, someone who told me that he loves me, and I've never been told that I love you before. And the way the boys would put all these things in your head and tell you are the sugar and all of that. So he told me all of that, and I felt like, wow, this is the person for me. Then I'm just gonna rock with it. And so because our body is the way it is, it reacts to touch, it reacts to affection. So on the final day or so, we were leaving campus, and so he gave me a hug. And I felt like, well, we can just remain like this forever. Wow. Like, yes. Wow. I mean, this is warm. I like it. But
why that feelings? Why did you think?
But then I believe that if I have been hugged before, if I have been touched before, if I felt, somebody else's warmth, maybe I will not take cognizance or not feel the way I felt,
So are you trying to say that your dad never hugged you before?
My dad will only, if you kneel down to kneel for
as an
him, African person, you will kneel down to grave. He would shake your hand, lift you up, and
that's it.
Yeah,
but not
it does that till today. Because I didn't get a lot of hugs when I was growing up. Okay, I now begin to give a lot of hugs.
Before you go to giving a lot of hugs, I wanted to advise parents watching or listening via our radio station Peace and Joy. Why is it important to give your young children hugs, especially fathers? Because fathers, I tell you, you have a lot of role to play in the life of these young girls. Very briefly.
When a father, especially because girls especially, the father is their first love, believe it or not. Even if the father is not there present or at all times, the father's place in the heart of a child can never be taken away. And so we have this natural desire for the father. There's a hunger there in the heart of every girl, looking for this fatherly, warmth, fatherly love, the father telling him, I love you, because he is a mirror of the kind of man that she hopes to end up with. He is the kind of person that she looks up to also show her the kind of qualities that she should be looking for in a man. So when a father shows his child affection, when a father hugs his child, when a a father touches, like I said, our body, reacts to affection and touch. So he helps her, to be able to navigate and, manage her feelings. You see, and so instead of allowing that child to go and experience it somewhere else, putting that child in a situation whereby she would just want to let go. I've never felt this way before. I'm not able to manage that feeling. The child is going to end up, engaging, into such, activity.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Ruthie. She went further to share our personal experience with us. She said, I am willing to share my experience. I ended up having a child at 18 after high school and is now 34. I would implore us as parents to explain this to their children, because at the end of the day, having children out of wedlock isn't right. Thank you very much for taking that bold step, in sharing your personal experience. I do really appreciate it. But I believe you've been able to bless somebody out there. Thank you very much. I do really appreciate it. So why didn't you have sex with that guy? With the feelings being right, the environment was right, why didn't you do it?
I just believe it was God. And besides that, I always have this thing in my mind, and that's what I advise all girls, to always keep in their mind that what if you engage in it without any protection? And what if it ends up being somebody that has got the XTD, the HIV, or what have you? What if this one time turns into pregnancy? So if you ask all these questions genuinely, and you would just realize that immediately, even though you are getting to that level, you are just going to drop off, because it's not just, you cannot ascertain that the person that you are engaging with has not been with every several person, and you don't know what they are carrying. You don't know what is in, they might be looking healthy, but you don't know what is going on down there. So if you keep that in mind, you'll be more conscious. You'll be more careful. So I just believe it was just God again, trying to save me from my own perdition. It was just God trying to make somebody walk in, or just making me to realize where I was going. And I thank God for saving me, because that could have just been the end of it all, and I would not have this testimony that I am sharing with you today.
Thank you very much, Alice, for that. Bossa sent this in to us. I didn't plan to do it. If I was in my right senses, it wouldn't be in, and certainly it wouldn't be that place. But I was caught up with passion, and I couldn't control myself. I shouldn't have met him alone in the secret. I want to advise ladies to please date in the open. Thanks, Bosse. Thank you very much, Bosse, for this. She just said it. She literally took the word out of my mouth when I saw that. It is very, very important to date, to talk, to do everything in the open when you're not married to that person. Thank you very much. So, Alice, why is it important for ladies not to put themselves, in a vulnerable position? Because you put yourself in that vulnerable position, didn't you? And you were again trying to pity him.
Yes. Psychologically, boys know how to, wrap a girl around their fingers, and they know really how to really hit the heart of a young person, especially when they have not been told before that they're being loved and all of that. So, pity came through because you just felt sorry for this person whose heart has been broken, and you just feel like, I'm just gonna help him. We think that having sex with a person is gonna help them, forgetting our own self, putting ourselves in a vulnerable, situation, because you going out with a person in a quiet place by yourself, you are putting yourself because boys, like I said, they are ready, they can take somebody's virginity and move on to somebody else and take it again, and they are proud, that they have taken, they even talk about it, and all of those are factors that actually made me think, I'm just gonna wait. I'm not gonna allow somebody to be proud that they took it. I want to give it to the person that deserve it. And thankfully, yes, God helped me, and if God can do it for me, He can do it for you as well.
Thank you very much. We are really rushing now because we are running behind time. Thank you, Ruthie, again. She said, African dad, don't usually show love to their children. My father, bless his soul, was too rigid and loveless. That is why we're doing this show, so that fathers will be able to love their children. I just want us to go back to that last conversation. Having a pity on the guy to have sex with him is a no. Please, even as an adult, if you are ready for marriage, or your husband died, you're a divorcee or something, and you're planning to go into another relationship, please do not go into it because of pity. So please, do not do that. It's not going to get you anywhere. Please, it will just make you to be heartbroken at the end of it. So please, do not do that. And don't make yourself to be vulnerable. Always date in the open. Have somebody with you. Go out where you will see a lot of people, so you will know you'll be safe. Now, Funke, how did you know that was your husband, the man, when he came? Can we make it very short?
Very fantastic question. I deliberately told God when I was 13 that I would do what you want me to do, but you have to give me someone as well that you have preserved for me.
Wow.
To be the right person.
Wow.
Because I realize it's possible for me to keep myself, and the other person that I end up with does not keep himself. And I think I will feel a bit cheated. If he's been around, if he's done it, and I am still, holding on to God's principle. I know there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, if he's done it before, yeah, but I choose for myself, that this is what I want. And I lay my request on it. I told God exactly what I want. And so when I met him, I've always known him anyway since we were growing up and all of that. So we grew up together. He's like a brother to me, even more so. And so I already like him. I already love him, even naturally. I just like his humility. I like the fact that he's got the fruit of the Spirit wherever we are, even in the church. He always take a place of leadership.
She's giving you some tips on what to look out for in that man you're about to marry. Humility, loving, caring, in leadership position.
Yes.
Go on.
You can see him, the way he respects people, the way he talks carefully. You've met my husband, he doesn't just talk anyhow. He would think, he will feel, how would this person feel before, he speaks, and how would they take
How
it?
did you
and
know?
So all of that qualities have already made me to like him.
You just liked him like that.
So from the beginning,
So you didn't
the
pray about
affection
it.
is there. The affection is there from the beginning, because like I said, God will nurture you. There's a way He connects you with the right people, and He just surrounds you with the person that is meant for you, even though you might not know it at the time. But all these qualities will be gathering together. And obviously, I was opportune to work in a small bank then, and then there were all these attraction and all of these, and then God favored me again. I moved on to a bigger bank, and it was like, whoa,
babe.
So I have people that would, this guy that would drop me, pick me up from work, take me to, to work, bring me back, ready to buy me this and that. And I was actually looking at all those people and not this other person, So, it goes to a point that I got confused. I actually got confused, and I was like, oh, well, maybe, I'm out of this four. Who is it going to be? Should we do many more?
A lot of us do that, don't we?
But it's a very important decision to make. Apart from having God in your life, the next important decision for any woman or even man is to choose the right person. So we cannot choose wrongly. We cannot close our eyes and just take one. No, we have to spiritually, if you're a Christian, or intentionally choose right. So I was just hoping and praying the Lord will raise, the right person. And I thank God for my mom. Like I said, she's the prayer warrior. Oh gosh, that's what I said. Every woman, every mother, every mother desires a stable relationship for their children. Desire every healthy relationship, but we don't pray about it. Even though they are 3 years old, you can start sowing seed into that future of their lives. You can start praying about it, start declaring the kind of husband that you want them to meet. The right relationship, the right associates. We can start praying all those prayers, because that's what my mom did for me. I got to that point, I was confused. These ones were loving me, all loving, and this other person is just growing, he's just trying to make it, he's just trying to get established. But I was looking at, like the woman, all of us will look at, what can I gain, all the glamour, all the, riches and all of that. But I could have made mistake, even though I waited. even though because I was now coming to the age that I was really ready to get married, even though I could still have missed it.
That mistake.
But thank God for my mother, and I say that with all pride, with all grace, that I thank God for my mom, and I encourage you mothers out there, take your place in the lives of your children. Take your place in place of prayer. It's not about just talking to them and at all times. Pray about it, and thank God. Amongst these four, I was able to. The Lord chose. I can't say I chose the best because I didn't do it. The Lord chose the best for me. And when I look at the other relationships that I could have gone into, gosh, I will give God praise. I didn't go there.
Thank God. Because of time, we're rushing. I think we have to bring her in to come and share that, intensively, because it's quite deep. But would you have regretted waiting if your husband, was not a virgin as well?
Well, I could have felt cheated. I could have felt like, what's the point for it? Some women will not mind, but me, I give 100% to whatever I'm doing. I make sure that if I want to love you, I will love you 100%. And I expect the same from you, so for that, I will feel a bit cheated. But thank God, I didn't have any regrets,
Thank God. We thank God for a praying mother. Ruthie said, he said, prayer works. And it's true. We pray that mothers will rise up even after today's show, and they will begin to pray for their children. Regardless of their age has got nothing to do with praying for your children's future. You can start praying for them even right from womb. As a mother, you start interceding for your children, proclaiming good things for their future. Please, mothers, rise up and pray, for your children. Thank you very much. Thank you, Ruthie. Yes, prayer works. Were you so eager to have sex with him? I want to know. I'm being nosy now. Or was it easier for you because it wasn't around? Because you've gotten to that stage, he's the one. Yeah. Did you just want to do it, or you still want to wait until that night?
We could have done it even before he went away. We could have actually, engaged in it. But like I said, he was even like a pastor himself, because he was always in the position of leadership. He teaches people about this, about purity. He talks to people about it. And so he also already have a standard. He already have, his own, mindset about it. And we talk about it. That's why it's important. If you find someone that you want to marry, let them know, where you stand. Let them know your point of view about it. And so if they agree with it, yes, both of you can then work together, because it's like a collaboration. It's like a partnership. We are working together to achieve the same goals. So if you are, in a courting relationship, you can set your goals, you can set your standard that until we actually got married, I am going away. And it's actually a fun thing, Honestly, it's a memory that we share together now about the first night. It's something that we'll look back into, and we just say, God, you are awesome. So it is a memory that is good to share. It's a memory that will actually elongate your affection, your love for one another, even your respect for one another as well. I just thank God that that happened for us.
Thank you very much. I have heard some people say that they must have sex with a person they intend to marry at least once. They won't be doing it like every other or frequently, but at least once. And just because they want to confirm the sexual ability of that person. Could this, actually be helpful in making a final decision?
I've had that discussion before with somebody, to be quite honest. And I said to her that what if he was able to perform on that first day and thereafter he was not able to perform? What if he was on a tablet or something just to please you on that day, and eventually, after that day, nothing happens again? So bearing all that in mind, it's your life anyway, it's your body. You can do whatever you choose to do with it, but make sure you please God in your body and in what you do with it.
Thank you very much. We've got this sentence, beautiful mind. I am 16 years old Christian who recently gave up my virginity. I waited until I really until I really loved my boyfriend and I knew he loved me. I don't think sex has anything to do with the fact that you are married or single. I think it is a choice each person has to make by asking themselves if they are prepared for the outcome of something goes wrong. If something goes wrong, if I talk to my partner about the possibility or possible outcomes, we could use protection and nothing bad happened. What have you got to say?
I agree with what she said, to a certain extent. But however, when you say that he loves you and you love him, why don't you get married? Why don't you run away with one another and just go and live your forever after? Why then do you want to be stealing and, doing it in secret? Why don't you boldly confess your love to one another and then carry on enjoying your sexual, relationship? So I just think that you are cheating yourself. If he loves you and you love him like you have proved, go ahead and get married.
Okay. My boyfriend broke up with me recently. I know it was because of sex. He wanted us to have sex, but I have promised my parents that I will wait until my wedding day. So I left him. He has been persuading me to come back, that he won't ask for it again, but I don't trust him. Beautiful mind, what can I do? Because I still love him.
If you love him, pray about it. Prayer works. Somebody said earlier, prayer works. If it's the right person for you, the Lord will give him the grace to wait. He would give him that ability to cope, in waiting. Because obviously the boys as well are getting pressured by his friend. They want to know, have you done it?
Have you done it? I know.
Like we said earlier, it's a big deal in the world today.
It is.
I mean, just for the fact that the young boy have other friends that have done it, he's also under pressure. But if you pray about it and both of you are in agreement about it, yes, you can both pull through.
Okay, thank you. I love what Ruth said there, and that's why I'm going to read it out. She said, we shouldn't try the product if we know we aren't buying it.
I love that.
I love that, isn't
Ruthie,
it?
well done for that.
Well done, really. I
like
love that. I'm going to steal that or start using it.
Yeah.
If you're not going to buy the
test
product,
drive. Why do you
want to do test drive? That's so beautiful. Thank you very much. Another one said, I am 16 years old from a Christian home. My classmates convinced me that there is nothing wrong in sex before marriage. I yielded to peer pressure despite my parents' advice. I am now a single parent of a child whose father abused and deserted me for another girl. My parents were unhappy with me, but my main problem are my church members' obvious stigmatization and condemnation of my child and me. Why do people judge me when they find out about my past? I could have aborted the baby like some of them did.
Well, unfortunately, everything that we do have consequences. Every relationship, even if it's not, marital relationship or boyfriend or girlfriend relationship, it had something to us. Myself meeting you had values. We share, we rub, we contribute to one another. Yeah. So every relationship, however you want to look at it, contributes to your future, contributes to what you eventually become. And that's why you have to be careful in choosing, who you hang yourself around with. So if it eventually happens that you engage with him and eventually something goes wrong, it's a contribution to yourself. You've added something to yourself, whether negative or positively. So I just think that basically is it.
I just want to say this about the church, condemning and stigmatizing. I know we all make mistakes in life. And we've all got our past.
We do.
Nobody on this planet. I know you're sharing about what you've been able to do successfully, but there's some things in your life that you've regretted doing, or you could have done it better.
Differently.
Or differently. So please, let us stop this condemning and stigmatizing. We make mistakes, and I believe she must have learned from her mistakes. You don't need to be pointing it to her or bringing it up every time to her face that you've made this mistake. I believe she have learned from that.
Sorry, can I also say that there are people that have been sent away from the church just because they engage in sexual immorality.
Sent away from the church?
Yes. There were people that I know that were attending a particular kind of church, and the father was a pastor, one of the ministers. They relegated the father because the child engaged in something. But what is the church for? The church should be a body where people can find grace, where people can come and find counsel, where people that are going through hardship, that are trying to find God, will be able to come and find love, because God is love.
Yeah.
And so when you are making the church a place of hostility, when you are castigating this one, move this one away, it's not up to my league, it's not up to my, he's a sinner, you are not portraying the gift of the Spirit. You are not of God, I must say. But when we abide in love, irrespective of their past, we all are sinners, and we've come short of the glory of God. I say that to myself every day, and that actually makes me to be humble. That makes me to also see from other people's perspective. Someone that have a baby today, you don't know why, what they go through, and even if you can support them, bring them back in line, bring them back to God. You can actually be a saving, grace for that person. So I just want us to reevaluating our Christian values, really.
That is so true. Please show more love. Love, that's what Christ have come to preach and to teach and to show us. So please, let us show more love. Unfortunately, we've come to the end of today's show. I know we don't want it to end. Even Ruthie said, I am enjoying this topic so much.
Oh, thanks,
We
Ruthie.
are enjoying it as well, Ruthie. But we've come to the end of today's show. Could you, Alice, I won't want you to go without giving ladies some tips of the principles that worked for you then, that guided you, that keeps you going.
I just think I want to make my God proud. I want to make myself proud. I want to make my parents proud. I want to leave a legacy, because God has already shown me what the future holds one way or another. He showed me, and my desire to also want to work for God, to use my life to win souls to Christ. So all of that actually form my mindset, my motive to want it to wait. So you have to fight for yourself. Who do you want to make proud? Do you want to make yourself proud? Do you want to make God proud? Because ultimately, like we read in 1 Thessalonians 4, it says that we should honor God, in our body, in all that we do, and we should teach it, to people, because eventually it's all to bring glory to God. So my tip is simple, and that is actually going to encompass everything that we said tonight. Know yourself, know your purpose, know the reason why you are here, know that your actions today will contribute to tomorrow, because it becomes something that is empowering when you are able to tell your child that I waited. They are seeing it firsthand, they are hearing from you. It's like you're passing on a legacy to them. And by that, you're empowering them, you're helping them to understand that it may be hard. It was hard for daddy and mommy. We have that conversation with our children. It may be hard. Definitely the temptation will be there. But if God can keep us and we're able to,
do you not think it's harder this age now? Do you not think it's harder now? It's more difficult now for people to wait?
It is never easy. It has never been easy. Even in the days of our parents, honestly, the way we see life now, every child that is born in today's generation is meant for this generation.
Thank you.
So everything
to survive.
So it's never easier in any dispensation at all.
Thank you very much. You've got a program coming up on the 14th.
Oh yes, we do. Yes.
Kindly tell my viewers and my listeners about this event.
I'm very excited, and I would really like to invite you. Thank you very much for this opportunity. To invite you to our parent and teen relationship workshop, and we titled this workshop "You in Us," because there is an entity that is you, and when both of us come together, we become a unique entity. And what are the things that we do as you that can affect us and can impact us? So this workshop, thankfully, is one that has been sponsored, so it's free. Don't think it's only for the church people. It's only for, if you are in Manchester, please come out, register yourself and your young person. It's targeted at young people age 8 to 19. So we will be you will be able to actually share, together, what it means to be able to act in a way that is respectful, that is considerate. You have the environment, where you'll be able to share your struggles, your challenges, what are the rules and consequences, because these young people need to know, not only in the home environment, because sometimes we have gotten so used to our homes, and so, we don't have the opportunity to share the real pain, the real struggle. So we are offering you a very warm environment, and I can tell you it's really packed. Oh God.
Is it free, this event?
It's totally free. And I can tell you as well that the young people that have attended our previous events are the one clamoring and asking, Auntie, we need this again. So please come, feel free, register on Eventbrite. You can type reflecting on eventbrite.com and it will show up. Register. Honestly, you would really appreciate and be thankful that you did, because when we want to raise children and the world wants to raise them as well, there is a conflict, and it's hard for parents and young person to be able to gel together because the world is pulling them, distraction is there, and you as a parent, you have your values, so it's like there's a clash, there's a conflict. So we as Reflecting, we work with parents side by side with their young people to be able to blend together and help them, empower them, with the strategies and tools that will help them to navigate their relationship in the best possible way. People that attended our workshop just in May, they will tell you and attest to it. We've got a lot of response. Please go in there, register, and we will be happy to have you on the 14th of July. In a few weeks now, we are ready. So please join us and come and share your experiences and work on your relationship.
Wow. One thing I would say is, please do not miss it, because it's always, I've been there, I've never missed it. Always packed. Not just packed with a load of programs that you won't take anything home at the end of it, but it's something that when you're leaving the all, you're going home a better person. So please try to attend, and you don't have to attend alone. You can come with your young ones.
It's important that you come with your young person, because there'll be activities. Honestly, you don't want to make these activities that you'll be working together and sharing in a open, free environment where you will not be judged or anything, and you can be able to really get to know this child of yours, and they can get to know you as well and understand why you do what you do. The meaning between of you and us. So yes.
Thank you very much. We've got another one coming again this Saturday. Positive Women Empowerment present Entrepreneurs Networking. Last week, Wednesday, we talked about, empowerment, women empowerment. And this Saturday, we're trying all our women to come out and be empowered. And the venue is at St. Philip's Church, Galton, Manchester, and the postcode is M18 7ER. The host is Mrs. Tola and Nimasharu, and I tell you, they have loads of facilitators. I'm one of the facilitators, and Dr. ID is one of the facilitators as well. So please come, and the date is on the 7th of July 2018, and the time is at 4 p.m. and the dress code is casual. And again, this event is free. God, we are blessed in Manchester. Seriously, you need to come out and get involved. Come and be empowered. Come and know about the next business in town. Come and this team this weekend, they're talking about stress. I will be talking about stress. It's something you do not want to miss as a woman. Women, we go through a lot of stress, a lot of issues. How do we deal with them? So this Saturday, it promises to be informative and educative. So please try to come. Right, yes, we've come to the end of today's show, and what can I say? I just want to say again, thank you very much for always being there, because I always say this, I will say it again, without you at the other side, there wouldn't be Beautiful Mind. We don't want to come here and be speaking to ourselves. We love it when it is interactive, and it has been interactive today. So thank you. I do really appreciate your time, your support, and your love. Thank you very much, Alice, for coming to bless us.
Thanks for having me.
It's been so impactful. Thank you very much. This is the only thing I just want to say this afternoon. Our body is the temple of God. And whatsoever you want to do with that body, think twice about it. I'm telling you, what I'm sharing now and what I'm saying now, I don't have that understanding, or I didn't have that understanding growing up, but now I wish I can turn back the time of clock, but unfortunately we can't. So please, we are sharing this now so that the mistakes that we've made, we don't want you to repeat that. We don't want you to make such mistakes again. So please look after your body. Always think about your body, that God, who is mighty, who is holy, lives, dwells in my body, and need to look after it. And like Solomon's Alice said, you know, when you believe in God, you say you believe in him, you believe in the word, you believe in the Bible, you have to believe also in the instructions that he has given you. And one of the instructions is keep yourself holy. So please do that. I know it's difficult in this time and age that we live, but you have the grace of God. I tell you, it's always available. You just need to tap into it. It's there. The grace is sufficient and is enough for each and every one of us. Again, before you do it, if you're about to do it now, think about consequences, you know, because I always say this to people again. When you do something, think about the consequences. What can the consequences be? Again, Solomon have mentioned it. It might be diseases. You don't want to end up to have AIDS or HIV at the end of your very young age, or a child that you're not expecting at a very young age, you know. So think about all these consequences before you do it. Thank you very much. And if you've done it, so please, you've done it. We have the grace of God. He has covered all of us. He has forgiven us. Don't remain in that pity place and say, oh, I'm a bad person. No, you're not. It's a mistake. Just try not to let it repeat itself again. Thank you very much for being part of today's show. I do love you all. And until next week, when I will be bringing another informative and educative topic your way, I remain your host, Adeyinka Adomi. Bye for now.
Bye.